Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to forecast you, analyze you, and this week what is the important economic event you should forecast with the trading, especially in gold trading, USD pairs trading, and currency trading. What are the important economic data, economic events you should touch with this week? So okay, let's start. Next Tuesday, 27th June, is the Canadian dollar CPI data. Economic events more important to Canadian dollar is the previous yearly CPI data is 4.2%, and Canadian dollar Bank of Canada, Canadian Central Bank, is forecast expect to 4% interest rate. Inflation data, consumer price index data, CPI data drop to 4%. So that's the Bank of Canada. Now 25 bps interest rates hike in last interest rates release, and now 4.75 interest rate. So inflation data drop to 4% or below. That's the next Canadian interest rate. Bank of Canada interest rate will be paused. So that's the drop the inflation data, Canadian dollar sell off. So that you should touch with that data on 27th June. So let's move to the 28th June Wednesday. That's the Australian dollar CPI data. That's a very important for AUD if you are trading AUD. So Reserve Bank of Australia RBA is still 25 bps interest rate high class interest rate release, and now 4.10 interest rate. Last CPI data, RBA Reserve Bank of Australia was not dropped to the below side and increased. Last CPI data 6.8% is the last CPI data inflation report in Australia. So that's the very important. So Australian dollar, if 6.8% is the current inflation data report, and inflation data will be dropped, that's the positive for AUD, and RBA will be paused at the interest rate in future. Now currently in 4.10 interest rate. So that's the very important to Australian dollar trading, AUD trading, CPI data. You will touch with it. So if you are trading these currencies with gold, my Telegram link is below. Accurate economic data analysis with combined technical analysis. You can get the accurate trade sinkers. My Telegram link is below. You can join with it. So Euro ECB President Lagarde's speech, BOE Bank of England Governor Bali speech, and Japanese Yen Bank of Japan Governor Uda speaks, and US dollar Fed chairperson Powell speaks. That so many four important central banks, ECB, BOE, BOJ, Feds, and there are four important speeches. It will be held in 28th June. So you will touch with these speaks. What are the comments, hawkish dovish tone that will affect to market movement. So touch with these speaks on 28th June. So let's move to 29th June. That's the 29th June. That's the German Poland CPI data that is affected to the US dollar, and this week very important economic data will be released on 29th Thursday. That is the final GDP quarterly of US dollar. That's the very important economic data. That's if you are trading US dollar, especially you are trading on gold. So 1.3% is the previous GDP quarterly is the US dollar, and Fed American Central Bank forecast to 1.4% interest rate hike in next GDP data. So if GDP data will be positive, that is the effect to US dollar demand, and gold drop to the below side. This is the gold chart. I am in 4-hour chart. So you will touch with this GDP final quarterly data, US dollar, and the unemployment claims. and very important to US dollar demand or negative or demand. That's the touch with it 29th June. So let's move the 30th June Friday. What are the economic events on Friday? So Friday's the Japanese Tokyo CPI and the Canadian dollar GDP is there. That's the, you will touch with the best. Canadian dollar GDP is positive. That's the Canadian dollar which is positive, and US dollar core PCE price index is there. That you will touch with. So this is the economic data in this week, very important. You will touch with trading with currency pairs, especially US dollar. If you are trading gold, you will touch with US dollar GDP data. So touch with this economic data. Thank you very